The story begins in the sun-baked desert town of Morenci, Arizona, where George Russell is hard at work negotiating land rights for his latest venture, a bold plan to expand his transcontinental railroad. Known for his ruthless business sense but deep loyalty to his family, George is pushing forward despite local resistance. Meanwhile, far from the dust and heat, back in New York, his wife Bertha Russell is plotting her own kind of power move. She's determined to marry off their daughter Gladys to Hector, the Duke of Buckingham, hoping the match will secure their place among Britain's elite. But Bertha's daughter has other plans. Gladys is no longer the obedient young woman her mother once controlled. She's fallen for Billy Carlton, a kind-hearted but socially unremarkable young man. With help from her brother Larry, who quietly supports her rebellion, Gladys sneaks off for secret meetings with Billy. As the episode builds, so does the tension between mother and daughter, until Gladys makes a bold choice. In a dramatic twist, she packs her belongings and vanishes into the night, seemingly to elope with Billy, throwing Bertha's grand plans into chaos. Across Fifth Avenue, the Van Ryn household is on shaky ground. Ada Fort, recently enriched by her late husband's fortune, has taken over as the new head of the house. Her sister, the fiercely traditional Agnes Van Ryn, isn't adjusting well to the shift in power. Their clashes, ranging from petty disagreements to full-blown arguments, reveal cracks in their once solid dynamic. Ada has also thrown herself into the temperance movement, much to Agnes's irritation. Meanwhile, their niece Marion Brooke is experiencing a turning point of her own. After years of failed courtships, she's slowly falling for Larry Russell. Their budding relationship suggests a hopeful merger of old money and new, though Agnes's judgmental presence looms large. Peggy Scott, determined and talented, is dealing with a very different set of challenges. Fighting through a persistent cold, she's working hard to meet a writing deadline. But she's brought face to face with the ugliness of the time when the Van Ryn family doctor refuses to treat her because she's black. Still, Peggy presses on. A new character, Dr. William Kirkland, a well-educated and successful black physician from Newport, is introduced, hinting at a potential romance and a deeper exploration of upper-class black society. The episode also weaves in several side plots that give the world more richness. Aurora Fane is blindsided when her husband Charles demands a divorce, so he can marry his mistress. The scandal threatens her social standing, and she must choose whether to fight back or fade into obscurity. Downstairs, the servant class is experiencing its own turmoil. Jack Trotter, the Van Ryn's footman, is upset after being excluded from a business meeting about his new invention, a patented alarm clock. Over at the Russells, their staff is scrambling to find the person leaking secrets to the press. Meanwhile, Bertha commissions famed painter John Singer Sargent to paint a portrait of Gladys, inspired by his infamous Madame X, hoping to cement her daughter's image in high society. The episode ends on a dramatic cliffhanger. Gladys's runaway act leaves Bertha in shock, devastated and furious, and sets the stage for a storm of emotional and political consequences when George returns from the West. Review: Who is in Charge Here is a striking and confident start to the Gilded Age Season 3, filled with glamour, intrigue, and emotional fireworks. Julian Fellows and Sonia Warfield return in top form, skillfully balancing a large ensemble without losing sight of the human stakes. The title reflects a central theme: who truly holds power, as dynamics shift between siblings, parents and children, lovers, and servants. Carrie Coon continues to impress as Bertha Russell, delivering a layered performance that captures both the fierce ambition and deep vulnerability of a woman determined to climb the social ladder. Her conflict with Gladys, played with new strength by Thaisa Farmiga, gives the episode its most powerful emotional core. Their scenes together crackle with tension, as the show evolves from mere social drama into a true generational showdown. Christine Baranski and Cynthia Nixon are once again a delight as Agnes and Ada, mixing sharp wit with quiet sorrow. Their sibling rivalry is more than comic relief. It reveals how power shifts can fracture even lifelong bonds. Louisa Jacobson and Harry Richardson have a warm chemistry as Marion and Larry, although their quick move toward marriage feels a bit rushed given the slow build in earlier seasons. Danae Benton shines as Peggy Scott, and her story this season feels ready to dive deeper. Introducing the Black elite through Dr. Kirkland opens up promising new avenues for exploring identity and status in Gilded Age America. However, the scene with the racist doctor, while important, felt a bit too on the nose. It drives the point home but lacks the subtlety found elsewhere in the script. Visually, the episode is as stunning as ever. The costumes by Kasia Walika Maimone are lush and symbolic, with every gown and accessory telling its own story. The settings, from the rugged beauty of Arizona to the gleaming ballrooms of New York, transport the viewer effortlessly. The inclusion of real-life painter John Singer Sargent grounds the episode in historical authenticity, giving the drama a sense of place and time. If the episode stumbles, it's in some of its smaller threads. Jack's business aspirations and the hunt for the household mole feel more like placeholders than fully formed stories. For now. And while the brisk pacing keeps things moving, it occasionally sacrifices the slow burn tension that made earlier seasons so gripping. Still, these are small bumps in an otherwise polished premiere. All in all, Season 3 begins with strong storytelling, high-stakes drama, and the kind of dazzling detail fans expect. With Gladys's rebellion, George's Western ambitions, and household tensions reaching a boiling point, The Gilded Age is shaping up for a season that promises not just beauty, but boldness.